Hello and welcome back to another session on cryptography. In this session, we'll be taking a look at an interesting topic, that is RSA digital signature. So we'll see what is the use of a digital signature, and we'll see how RSA is used for authenticating the sender. So let's take an example now. Let's take two parties want to communicate, that is the sender Prince and the person who will receive the messages, the receiver Kevin. So you can think of sender to be a server which is going to transmit data to the receiver who is the client. So we are taking two parties. One is the sender who sends a message and receiver who receives the message. Let's say the sender sends the message hello to this receiver. The question is how Kevin can be assured that he is receiving only the message from the sender Prince. That Prince is only sending the message. So how can Kevin be assured of that? See, even an hacker who pretends to be Prince, let's say this is the hacker who pretends to be Prince, can send a message to Kevin, hello. So how is that this receiver Kevin is going to identify that this is actually Prince who is sending me the message and this is the party who is not Prince? So how is that he is going to authenticate the sender? How is that he is going to know that only Prince has sent him the message? So there should be some kind of authentication, verification that this person who is sending me the message is actually Prince, so that you can trust the message that you are receiving. So this is the use of a digital signature. A digital signature is used for providing authentication. So we can be rest assured that we are getting the message from the verified sender. So we'll see how RSA is used as a digital signature algorithm here. So let's go to the example. Let's take a numerical here. So we have the sender and receiver again. So what is that the sender is going to do before sending the message in RSA digital signature is, he is going to consider two prime numbers, that is P, here I have selected P to be 3 and Q to be 11. So actually these two prime numbers are 1024 bit numbers, but here for simplicity we have taken smaller numbers. P is equal to 3 and Q is equal to 11. And then the value of n is computed as P into Q. So 3 into 11, we get the value of n to be 33. The next computation that is done by Prince is, he computes the value pi of n. Pi of n is nothing but pi of P into pi of Q, the Euler's torsion function. So if you are not clear about Euler's torsion function and RSA algorithm, I'll be leaving the links for those lectures in the description below. Have a look at it. So pi of n is computed as pi of P into pi of Q. Pi of a prime number is prime number minus 1. So P minus 1 into Q minus 1. Pi of Q is a prime number, so we compute that as Q minus 1. So what is P minus 1? That is 3 minus 1, 2. What is Q minus 1? That is 11 minus 1, 10. So pi of 1 is computed as 20. The next step is, Prince selects a public key. So public key is something that is visible, that is known to everyone. It's not a secret. So public key here, he selects the value of E to be 3. The condition here is GCD of E with pi of n, that is 3 and 20 is 1. So GCD of E with pi of n should be equal to 1. So we have selected value of E to be 3. 3 with pi of n 20 is, the GCD is 1. So this condition is satisfied. So the public key is published now. So what is the public key? That is E comma n. E is 3, n is 33. So this information is available to the public. It's in the public domain. Receiver Kevin will know it, and anybody can know the public key of this specific sender. So it's published. Next, Prince selects a private key. The private key here is D, and the value that has been selected is 7. So the condition for this private key is, it should satisfy E star D mod pi of n should be equal to 1. So E is 3, D is 7, mod pi of n is 20. So 21 mod 20, what is that? 1. So this condition is satisfied. So private key that Prince has selected is D is equal to 7. So after this, what he does is, he takes the message hello. So we have to transmit the message hello from Prince to Kevin. And this message is passed through an hashing algorithm. You can think of any hash algorithm like SHA-256, SHA-512. Of course, this is going to be a larger value. For simplicity, we have taken, after hashing this message hello, we are going to get the value of the hash as 14. This is just for understanding this algorithm. You have taken the value of the hash. So we are taking the message, plain text message, and we are hashing it. We are reducing the size to a fixed length value. And what we are doing is we are taking this hash and we are computing the signature. So how you compute the digital signature is nothing but you take the hash raised to the power of the private key. What is the private key? That is 7 mod n is 33. So 14 power 7 mod 33 will lead us to a value of 20, which we call as the digital signature. So these computations are done from the sender's end, and what is sent to the receiver is the plain text message hello. Hello is sent, and the signature that we have computed 20 is sent. So receiver is going to receive these two values. Now the receiver should establish that he has received this message only from Prince and not from anyone else other than Prince. How is that he is going to establish? That is, he will compute h dash, that is, he will take the value of s that he has received, that is 20, power 3. 3 is nothing but the value of e. S power e. E is in the public domain. This is the public key. So he's going to take e mod n. So mod n is 33. So n is 33. Again, it is part of the public key. So he is able to compute h dash. So when he performs this, you'll be able to get 14, which is actually the hash. So you'll be able to perform this only when this has been encrypted using the private key, or this has been signed using the private key of the sender. So this step will not yield the correct results if the signing here has not happened using the private key. See, private key is very private to the sender, and this private key cannot be known to anyone else. So that is the process here of verification. So we get the h, and then what we do here is we take the plain text message and then we compute the hash. We will get the value 14. So we're going to take the plain text message, pass it through the same hashing algorithm, and then we'll get the value h. Next, what we are going to compare is we'll compare h with h dash. So of course, when h dash matches the value of h, the sender is verified. So this is RSA digital signature, and what is the use of this? We'll be using RSA algorithm for verifying the authentication of the sender. We'll be authenticating the sender. Now we are very sure that only Prince has sent the message, because Prince has encrypted or signed this message using his private key, and we are able to verify the signature using his own public key. And that's why we use RSA digital signature for authenticating or verifying the sender. I hope you are able to follow this. If you have any questions, you can leave those questions as comments below. I'll be catching up with another session on cryptography soon. Take care.